Hi guys, this is Stacy. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I've been watching interviews and just really digging into this case, and I've waited and now it's time to talk about it. So I've been back and forth with this case from, well, she's been abducted to a possible accident. I feel different ways about Dawn and Candace. I mean, we've heard so many different stories about that day. We have Summer going under the water briefly. To know that did not happen. That's a crock. To a phone call Dawn made to Candace about a strange guy on the property trying to touch the kids. To no, that did not happen. All he did was call to see how everything was going. So we all know this. And each time we are told more details, in my opinion, it's because the Wells is on social media, listening and reading what people are saying and about their story and how there's discrepancies in their statements. And then they speak out again, and then they try to clear up discrepancies. Well, when this happens, it actually leads us to more questions than what it does answers. And Dawn is the main one who spoke out from the very beginning, from day one. We didn't hear from Candace until 2 weeks after Summer was missing. Like, for instance, from the very beginning, we all wondered and questioned, how could a stranger come onto the property and abduct Summer with all the dogs? No dogs barking. And now, lo and behold, Dawn explains it. The dogs weren't there that day. Alright, so let's talk about that. We've heard 20 dogs, 12 dogs, 8 dogs. So let's say they have 8 dogs. Is it likely that all 8 dogs will be gone and just so happen to be on the day that someone decides to sneak up on that hill and abduct Summer? Now keep in mind, Candace said in their interview with Chris when they were at the house that they have puppies underneath the house. So we have a mama dog with babies. Would she leave the babies all day? It's possible. Well, Candace also states in a written interview that police cadaver dogs were taken up to the property, but they didn't warn her ahead of time to corral the family's 8 dogs. So she felt like it messed everything up with the cadaver dogs. So when I think about that, okay, and they came up the hill and said, well, we didn't know you had dogs. So is it possible that the dogs weren't there? Well, then Candace states, no, they knew I had dogs. Now, is it possible that the dogs heard all the commotion going on and they ran back up the property? Yes, it is. It's a possibility. The dogs, all 8, 12, 20, were not there when this happened. And they come back up on the property when they realized all the commotion going on. That is a possibility. How likely is that? I can't say. Does it raise suspicion that the dogs happen to not be there that day? Yes, it does. There are just so many different stories. And Candace does seem to tell the same story. Every so often she kind of adds a few details in that we're missing. You know, that they went to Priceless, Hippie House, Smoke Shop. And in the interview with Chris McDonough, with him and Candace by the water, she does add in that she washed clothes that day, or she put a batch of clothes to wash. Now, that was never mentioned again, but moving on. Now, as far as Dawn just does not stop talking. We could read it all over Facebook, and he finally cleaned that up a bit. And now we see lots and lots of pictures of Summer posted. And now we have the somebody put her in her car or a car. Well, just as Dawn does, I have an accent, and I'm not going to say put her in a car. I'm going to actually say put her in a car. Could that be a car or her car? It could be. It could be either or. I've listened to the interview many, many times, and I've actually wrote down word for word, rewinded it, and listened to it over and over, and I've never heard her car. I've heard a car. And I could be wrong. It may say her car. And I'm absolutely not putting Chris McDonough down because he is amazing at what he does. He is a gem. And he is the main reason why we have all these interviews of Don and Candace speaking out. But we do have to take into account how the mind works. So if I tell you listen to something, you're going to hear one thing. And then I will tell you, this is what I hear. Well, the next time you hear it, you may hear what I told you. That's just how the mind works. I'm not an expert. I can't explain it in scientific form. I just know that's how the mind works. Now, if he did say her car, who's her? Well, in this scenario, we have two hers. We have Candace and Grandma. Well, whose car is it? It's Candace's car. But we also have to think about who was driving that car that day. Who was driving her car? Don was. Could he be innocent and hadn't done anything to cause the disappearance of Summer? Absolutely. Donald and Candace. But we have to look at what we've been told by Donald and Candace Wells. And from the very beginning, Don states, she's gone. She's not in these woods. I've also thought about the statements he's made, saying how he feels bad for the search and rescue and all the people in the woods. He's seen them limping. He feels bad that they had to search those woods because he knows that she's not there. Now, if we take just the things that Don has said, not including his Facebook and not including his past, if you put that together in a whole as the big picture, anybody's going to look at that and tell you he looks very suspicious. I'm sorry, but that's how it looks. And he says he knows this because he knows his daughter. She wouldn't wander. Well, she's 5, and kids get curious. She could have just been curious and wanted to go beyond where she was told to go. Also, they have all these animals. What if maybe she was chasing one of the puppies or one of the dogs and went into the woods and came across an animal? Or she fell and was hurt. There could be so many possibilities. I don't understand how he can just take all those off the table and immediately say she was abducted. Plain and simple. No other questions, nothing else. And now this leads me down the rabbit hole to what I believe is the most important statement that Don has made yet. And this floored me when I heard this. He always knew that something bad was going to happen to Summer. Do parents think that way? Possibly. But he even goes as far as to say, like she could have been run over by a car. And, Chris asks him, well, do you think she would have ever been abducted? No, never. I'm not that. So any other scenario except abduction. But as soon as something happens to her, she was abducted. So for 5 years, you've always knew something bad was going to happen to her. And you give different scenarios. But abduction is not one of them. Never. But now that something has happened to Summer, you immediately go straight to abduction, and everything else, every other possibility is out the window. It didn't happen. Now, maybe Don just had such a rough life and things never went well that he thought things are going too good. Something's going to go bad. Did he feel this way about his boys? Candace? Did he feel this way about his 2 older children? We don't know. But maybe Don will come out and explain this one also. Alright guys, well, we have a lot more to talk about, but I'll save that for the next video, because there's so many dynamics to this case that you cannot put it into one video. And I'm going to go ahead and link down below all the interviews. You can go check out Unmasked and Chris McDonough, the interview room, and come to your own conclusions, because these are just my opinions. So go over and check out the videos and comment down below what you think. Alright, so that's the end of this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already. Turn on the notification bell. And always remember, spread love and not hate. Be blessed and keep the faith. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.